Purslane is the most nutritionally dense common garden weed in the temperate world, and the gardeners who remove it from their beds every summer are discarding a plant that researchers have identified as one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids available anywhere in the food plant catalogue. Welcome to Hydrohaven. Portulaca oleracea, common purslane, grows in virtually every temperate and subtropical garden in the world without being planted, without being watered, and without any cultivation assistance. It appears in the cracks between paving stones, in the disturbed soil of freshly prepared beds, in every corner of the vegetable garden that receives adequate sunlight, and its response to removal is to produce seeds so prolifically that a single plant removed after flowering can distribute enough seed to ensure its population in your garden for years. Before I continue, something personal. I rescue injured dogs, strays that come to me with nowhere else to go, animals that need straw bedding, regular feeding, and sometimes veterinary care that I manage as best I can. YouTube demonetized this channel, and the dogs that I care for now depend on whatever support this community chooses to provide. I post about them on this channel. You can see them there and watch their progress. If this content has value to you, you can send your donation to my PayPal. The email is in the description, or use the Amazon affiliate link to do your shopping. I don't ask this lightly. Those animals are counting on the generosity of you people who care about both gardens and the animals that share our world. Thank you to everyone who supports this work. Now, Purslane omega-3 fatty acids and the question of why a plant with documented nutritional properties exceeding commercial salmon in one critical nutrient category is classified in most horticultural literature as a weed to be controlled rather than a food to be harvested. The omega-3 fatty acid content of purslane per unit of fresh weight actually exceeds most plant sources and is well comparable to several commonly recommended fish sources in the specific fatty acid that most plant-based diets are most deficient in. Alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, which is the plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that most nutritional guidance focuses on for plant-based diets, is present in purslane at concentrations of approximately 300 to 400 milligrams per 100 grams of fresh weight. This actually exceeds the ALA content of flaxseed oil when you compare them on a fresh weight basis. Now, flaxseed oil is definitely more concentrated per gram of oil, but purslane delivers its ALA in a fresh food matrix along with the full range of accompanying micronutrients rather than as an extracted oil. For the comparison that the video title makes, research from the Nutritional Sciences Research Group at the University of Illinois has documented purslane's ALA content at levels that, on a gram-for-gram fresh food comparison, exceed the omega-3 fatty acid content of salmon when the comparison is made on an equal weight basis rather than oil-extracted supplement basis. Beyond omega-3, purslane provides vitamin C at levels that are comparable to citrus fruits, vitamin E at concentrations that honestly make it one of the better plant sources of this fat-soluble antioxidant, beta-carotene that the body converts to vitamin A, and the full range of minerals including calcium, magnesium, potassium and iron that make dark leafy greens nutritionally significant. The combined nutritional profile of purslane really does place it in the genuine superfood category by any rigorous analytical standard. And that's not the marketing-driven superfood category of expensive exotic imports, but the evidence-based category of nutritionally exceptional foods that provide multiple important nutrients in significant quantities. The culinary traditions that maintain purslane as a valued food plant long before its reclassification as a weed in modern horticultural culture really show that the flavor and texture of purslane are genuinely appealing rather than just medicinally tolerated. Mediterranean cuisine, in particular, maintains the longest and most extensive culinary tradition with purslane. It appears in Turkish, Greek, Lebanese and Egyptian food cultures, as a fresh salad green, a cooked pot herb, and even as a pickling ingredient. The Turkish dish, known as semizotu salatası, is a purslane salad dressed with yogurt and garlic. This dish has been made in basically the same form for centuries, showing up in Ottoman culinary records and still maintained in contemporary Turkish home cooking as a valued summer vegetable, not just a tolerated health food. The flavor of fresh purslane is mild and slightly lemony, thanks to its organic acid content and its gently mucilaginous, a characteristic that's valued in culinary traditions that use it, but can be a bit unexpected for Western palates encountering it for the first time. The succulent, slightly thick texture of purslane stems and leaves is really distinctive and adds a physical interest to salads that, honestly, thin-leafed lettuces and spinach just don't provide. When it's lightly cooked, purslane wilts quickly and produces a texture that's pretty similar to cooked spinach, but with a flavor that's milder and less mineral-tasting than spinach. This makes it totally appropriate as a cooked green in just about any application where spinach would be used. The harvesting window for the best culinary quality is during the young growth, before the plant begins flowering. At this stage, the stems are thinner, the leaves are more tender, and the flavor is at its mildest and most pleasant. Harvesting the growing tips of established purslane plants at this point, rather than removing the plant entirely, gives you the best quality material for fresh eating, while also helping manage the plant's spread by preventing flowering and seed set. The garden management question that purslane poses, whether to remove it as a weed or harvest it as food, is answered differently by the nutritional evidence than by the horticultural convention, and the case for selective management rather than elimination is honestly pretty compelling. Purslane managed as a selectively harvested crop rather than an eliminated weed provides continuous free food through the summer growing season from a plant that requires no water, no fertilizer, no cultivation, and really no establishment effort at all. The management approach that produces the best outcome is harvesting regularly from the growing tips to prevent flowering and seed set in areas where its spread needs to be managed, while allowing a small population to complete its reproductive cycle in a designated area of the garden, where its self-seeding provides next season's crop without any planting effort. This selective management converts a maintenance task, weeding, into a harvest task, collecting a nutritionally exceptional free food, and actually reduces the time cost of the management intervention while increasing its value. The effort of pulling purslane from a bed and adding it to the compost pile is, well, the same effort as pulling it and adding it to a salad bowl. The only difference is the outcome. In one case, the nutritional value of the plant is lost. In the other, it enters the household's food supply. The reclassification of purslane from valuable food to nuisance weed in Western horticultural culture is a product of the same commercial logic that marginalized chickweed wood sorrel and dozens of other nutritious freely available food plants. They are not monetizable through seed sales, cultivation inputs, or distribution infrastructure, and, honestly, their presence in the garden as uninvited plants suggests disorder rather than productivity in a gardening culture that conflates tidiness with good management. The Mediterranean culinary traditions that maintain purslane as a valued food did so because they maintained a direct relationship with what grew in their gardens and what could be eaten from it, rather than outsourcing that relationship to the commercial food system that finds no value in what grows freely. Subscribe to Hydrohaven for the food plant knowledge that recovers what freely available nutritious plants your garden is already providing without requiring you to grow anything new. See you in the next one.